Hi. I'd like to tell you a story of great humility and forgiveness. I was once invited to go to the Nevada desert and to take part in a prayer session with different groups of North American Indian tribes. It was in a huge teepee out in the desert which could hold about 40 people. And although there was snow outside, it was nice and cosy in this tent. They had a fire in the middle and the smoke went up through the hole in the roof. So we gathered in a circle. There was a fireman whose job was to go round and tidy up the fire and keep it in order. And his other job was to clean up after some of the people who would vomit after having taken the medicine which we all shared, which came in the form of peyote, dried and fresh, which is their sacrament, their holy medicine to contact their, what they believe in as being higher. So we took the medicine. I was the only out of about 4 or 5 white people who didn't throw up, and the chief told me that the peyote liked me. I told him that I liked the peyote. So we sang and chanted, and they told me in the chants it's not so much the words that mean something as the intention behind the words. And we chanted and sang throughout the night, all night long. And at intervals the chief would stop and pray, and he prayed for everything under the sun, even for the people's transport to get home. This sending of goodwill to everything impressed me. It also impressed me that they accepted me in there as part of their community, and me being a white European man, the representative of a culture which had raped, pillaged and murdered their country, killed all of their buffalo, decimated them, and also had given Indians tuberculosis laced blankets as one of the earlier known forms of germ warfare. We stole their children and gave them Christianity, or a low level version of Christianity, and yet they accepted me in, and they gave me acceptance and welcome. The next morning we went out and they had a sweat lodge built out in the snow. Me being from a European culture had preconceived ideas about the sweat lodge. I thought, a primitive, I'm used to a sauna, this'll be no problem. And after they closed the skins which covered the bent over saplings which formed the body of it, and they drew preheated stones in with deer antlers into a central hole, and they threw some herbs on, and then they applied water. My thoughts, far from being this is primitive and I can handle this no problem, became, oh my, I hope I don't panic and just scrabble over people to get out of the door. It became that intense. But I managed to stay in and sweat all of the toxins out of my body. They had this built into their culture, this regular cleansing and praying. They were and are a deeply spiritual people, which, if you doubt, you can look at some of their stories. I would suggest, for example, you check out the story of Jumping Mouse, which is very profound on numerous levels and shows an acquaintance with ideas which most Europeans are still not acquainted with. If any of them ever see this, and the woman who invited me, Peyote, I wish you well and profound thanks. Respect. Aha.